Hello, hello, hello. It's Christine. It is, oh, day 19. That's what I'm looking for is the day. Day 19 of 30 Days of Sketch with Christy Beautiful Life. This one was created by the lovely Janet Fritz. And we have, she's Galaxy Girl Creations. I think that is the name of her title on YouTube. I've seen that. I'm certain that's what it is. Yeah, because she always has her intros, has little stars and whatnot. Anyway, she has basically 5 paper layers. Then she's got a circle element here, embellishment clusters, and a big title. And she has 2 photos. Now, what I have, again, my sister was picking stuff out. So I gave her free reign. So it's kind of giving me, like I said, kind of an interesting challenge to do. I pulled out a Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. I do not recall which month, but it is the Simple Stories, The Little Things is the collection name. And I've got like this grid, which is nice because it's the grid on the back. And then I'm thinking I'm going to layer it like with the polka dots and then this little plaid. And then there is the back side. There's this floral here. And then I went off into my hip kit because this palette kind of reminded me of some of that. And I did find this little scrap here. I really like this little scrap. I think I'm going to use this because it kind of matches everything. And then I also got, now this came with some ephemeras and stuff, but I'm not 100%, like this has 2 titles technically, and I'm thinking I'm going to use Little Moments because it's bigger. I might use this as one of my embellishment bases or something like that. And it's got these little pieces too. I'm not going to use, I don't know. I might be able to use these. I don't know. I pulled these others out just in case because I do have, like, there's a little, Happy's kind of cute. Things like that. And then there's also like some little purples and things. So I don't know if I might use this for the circular element. I think I will. This is actually from Hip and Humble. Y'all, if you hear anything, that's Saturn she's playing. So the picture is actually of me. I don't remember when this was. This is actually at my in-laws' house way back when. I know my daughter, I think my daughter took this picture because this would have been the angle. So she was probably, if I had to guess, 3 or 4, because I let her carry around little cameras when she was small to take pictures. And she took this picture. And who knows, I was probably just being silly. But it's the picture my sister picked out. And so I'm going to use this. Instead of 2 pictures, I'm going to use this one. So that's what I'm starting with. Let me go ahead. Oh, and I'm going to probably use a white cardstock background here. I don't know. I might end up with some mixed media. Because why not? So let me get to cutting some things. And I'll be back on in just a minute after I make some decisions. Okay, y'all, I got clever. I didn't really need to save paper, but by the same token, I saw those layers and I got a little worried that I might need other options. So I figured out ways to puzzle piece this together a little bit. And you're going to see in just a second, I'm going to cut these into strips. So it looks almost like on the sketch, they're like solid blocks of paper. And you could certainly do that. But I decided, like I said, to be a little bit smart and try to maximize my paper here. And so I'm going to cut these into strips, even though in the end, honestly, it looks like a solid block. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So I've got this little grid paper cut, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth on this. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut in just a minute. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me kind of puzzle piece all these together. I just want to get you a sense of what I was doing. I'm looking at the layers, and I'm saying, okay, so there's my grid piece. I knew that the top layer kind of had to cross over enough to where the middle layers didn't look like they weren't a single piece. So that's what I just did there. I did the kind of the very top layer. And I'm going to end up matting the photo in the back of one of these. I don't remember now if it's the red and white polka dot or if it's the white flowers. And then I'm going to actually end up using black cardstock. I don't think I'll leave that on there either because I'll have to go off into my stash and get some black cardstock. And I did that because the title has black letters and my picture has some black in it. And I'll actually end up pulling out black soot and inking the edges of the papers too. I'm going to do that on all the papers. But here, like I said, at the moment, I'm really just kind of puzzle piecing these together so that it looks like single sheets of paper behind the layers. And you'll see those are hanging off to the side there on the left-hand side because actually some of them get cut down a little bit and some go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to end up, well, actually it's the yellow one that gets cut down. The 2 that I got hanging off right there, they actually go all the way to the edge. This yellow here is about to be my square that kind of, actually, I think that's the only one that stays kind of a square. The rest of them I cut into little strips here. So you can kind of see now what I've puzzle pieced together. And you can see the yellow plaid there is the main one that kind of stays as a full strip, or block rather. And then the other ones are actually technically strips. But Once I trim off these edges here, and I'm going to have to use my scissors too because I didn't get all the way to the edge some kind of way. I don't know how I did it, but it's just a hair off. And I go, well, shoot, that's not, I'm going to have to trim that. So I trim these off. And now when I flip it over, well, I mess with this for just a second. I try to use my little blade here and I still didn't get any more. So I'm going to use my scissors. I don't know that it's 100% straight, but you know what? It's okay. I ink the edge of it with the black soot. And you'll see when I flip over, it's a little bit faint, but you can kind of almost see that I've inked the edges of those papers there. You can kind of see the black soot. And I'm just adding it to that very far edge over there again. And so now you can kind of see that looks like full on like squares, but I've layered it in such a way you can't tell I've cut that they're actually strips. So, and also you can see my photo there. I've done the double matte there, and now I'm going to put this title down. And honestly, I wanted to kind of move it after I did that. Nope, it's stuck. So that's okay. I was going to put a little bit bigger flower, and I thought, well, I'll bring it down, and no, that does not work. So I'm kind of going through the ephemera here. I knew that I wanted that circle flower to be that round element. I could have trimmed it so that the part that's up underneath the layers wasn't really wasted, but I just have so much stuff, y'all. It's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes I be conservative, and sometimes I think, why are you doing that, Christine? So here's where I'm getting these flowers. I'm just going to use a lot of this ephemera here, and I'm going to kind of mess with this. There's that where I thought to maybe use that bigger flower, and I start to try to pull it up, and it went, nope, that's not happening. So you're not going to go there. So I put a little flower, and then I put 2 more little flowers, and I think that looks cute. And then I'm going to move the purple. I think I try to put it on the left-hand side again, and that's still too big. So I'm going to swap that flower that's in my hand. I'm going to swap the big one and the littler one, and that's going to go like that. And these are kind of going where those stars were on the sketch, y'all. I'm just making the embellishment clusters out of flowers instead. And let's see. I'm looking in here. I will pull out a little purple like butterfly stamp thing off of that hip kit piece there. And I'm going to actually end up, at the moment, that little love, what does that say, y'all? It's love something. It's in the upper right corner right there. It's just laying there. I didn't know if I was going to use it at first, but I do, actually. I ended up pulling it out and putting some foam under it. And it's going to go on the little round circle element in just a moment. But first, I got to put my little stamp over here. I don't think have I glued the photo down? I think I have. Maybe I have. And then I'm going to get into some of this other little bit of stuff. I don't know that I pull anything else out now. I just did this too. This is so crazy. I'm trying to do a little blitz here today, y'all. I got 2 layouts done this morning. Well, technically 1 I started last night, but I got 2 finished early this morning before work started. There's my little title. I will just put foam underneath it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut off in just a second. I'm going to put foam underneath one of the flowers, the little tiny flowers at the top. I'll put foam underneath the one that's on the purple stamp over there on the left side. And I'll put some foam underneath that little subtitle, I guess, if you want to call it, that's on the round flower element. I'm going to put foam underneath that. I did find that little chipboard piece I mentioned to you, the little circle, and it says happy with the little flower. I've stuck that on that big purple flower over there. And the butterfly, there's a little butterfly that was in the ephemera on the lower right down there that I put foam underneath that too. So this is me kind of finishing up the last little bit of the foam stuff. You can see everything else it's actually all glued down now. I mean, it's exactly where it was, so it's not like it's changed, but now it's glued down. And I had to use some tiny little foam in some areas and some big foam in other areas. And so that's all going down right there. And I will end up pulling out some purple enamel dots. It came in one of those random hip kit deals. I still had it. I think it was a hip kit deal. Now that I say that, maybe, I'm so sorry, maybe it was the scrap room, because they tend to stick a little strip of enamel dots. So it might have actually come from that collection. But I'm going to pull those out. I'm just going to kind of fill in, again, where she kind of had those little, the little clusters. And I'm just going to kind of I think I put 5 in the lower right. And I'll put 3 in the upper left and the top is what's going to happen in just a second. I think this turned out really cute. I didn't actually put a date because I don't honestly know when this was. I mean, I can tell. If I have to guess, it's about 15 years ago. Like I said, I mentioned my daughter was probably 3 or 4 taking pictures. Hey, I got to say, this is a pretty good picture for like a 4-year-old. I mean, I used to get those little throwaway cameras back in the day when nothing was digital. It was a little throwaway camera you take to Walmart or whatever and get developed. But she did pretty good, don't you think? Anyway, there you go. There's the slowdown. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try to get some more done today, so at least I'm more than a day ahead here. This one was fun. It was actually a little more fun than I thought I might be able to get done, but I'm actually pretty pleased with this one. So anyway, thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.